Recently, I've been thinking, what is it about ski towns that I love so much? And the thing that I broke it down to is the locals, the vibe that the locals give off. And if you're not an arrogant person and a tourist that is someone no one wants to be around, almost all locals in a ski town are willing to give you a little bit of that vibe. I bet if you ask yourself this question, have you ever had a truly bad experience with a ski town local? And I mean in an après scene, in a local spot, not some place where it's the hustle and bustle and people are getting their toes stepped on, but a situation where locals can actually be locals. And a true good tourist can actually be a true good tourist. And I think we all know what I mean by that. If you're not arrogant, more than likely they're not going to be. And that's the experience that I've always gotten. I've always gotten a really good, warm reception to true locals. Because I try to fit in as much as I can, knowing that I can't completely fit in, because that trying too hard is also a little bit arrogant. But if you're just willing to sit back, listen, and incorporate yourself in the story in the way in which it's just seamless, I've never had a bad experience with a ski town local. And that's kind of what I boiled down that ultimate love for ski towns. And one of the reasons why I've been trying so hard for so long to become one of those locals, one of those welcome transplants. And I got a comment a little bit earlier today that kind of made me think. It's comments like this are the reasons why I think the Dirtbag Association and the way that I'm trying to come about it is resonating. I'm going to read the comment. I'm going to read my reply. I'm not going to give the person's name because it's not really needed. It wasn't a mean or malicious comment. It's just a comment that has a lot of a mindset that I don't have, and I'm glad I don't have, because this mindset is one of the ones where it just keeps you kind of stuck in the mud, in my opinion. Here's what the comment said. This is a comment based upon my little story about my journey from Whitefish, wanting to go to Stowe. And the person said, when he said Whitefish, I was waiting for a story of the racist locals. Okay. All right, I got that. I see where you're coming from. This was my response. Stick around and you'll understand my vibe. You find negativity if you look for it. I found nothing but kind, open locals. And that's what I find most places I go. Something along those lines. Maybe I paraphrased it a little bit, because in my response, I think I left out a word that would have made it flow a little bit better, but I think you get the concept. And that comment is something that I think a lot of people actually feel. And I believe you get what you look for. And not to deny the fact that there aren't some bad apples and some negativity out there. There's always a soft underbelly of anywhere you go. But that soft underbelly usually stays low and is usually in the grass, staying out of the public eye. Because those thoughts and those opinions aren't really welcomed almost anywhere. And I know, because I've gotten some of those comments on my videos, even in the short amount of time that I've been doing it. I've gotten comments where you get emojis of watermelon and fried chicken. And to be honest, you don't have to threaten me with a good time, because fried chicken is pretty damn good, especially if it's seasoned up and fried well. Ask the Koreans, they fry some of the best. So see what I did there? But the reality of it is, you are going to get what you look for. And if that's the case, and I can possibly do things to make my time, my experience, my life better, I'm gonna look for the positive and not the negative. And I'm gonna do that every single time. Because It's our responsibility and nobody else's to make sure we maintain and protect our Stoke. Maybe it's your responsibility to do that for your family in your really tight circle, but it's our job to make sure we have a good time, a great time. And I've never had a bad time in a true local spot in a ski town. And I know it's because the people in the ski town, if you ride that struggle bus and you've been struggling to afford that life that you're living, and you finally made yourself a little bit of a comfortable place, you're just happy to be there. And if you happen to be one of the people who have it all, a silver spoon, it gives you a place where you can sit back and you don't have to be as cutthroat. And that's why you can be at a bar with a 50-year-old man who was living in his van 2 years ago, and a man who has a nice shiny watch and a Land Rover outside. And very rarely do I ever see him flashing the keys. So in that world of a ski town where it's really not that diverse, it's not that culturally diverse, it's not that socially, economically diverse, it still works. People still enjoy themselves, they come together, they go to the same coffee shop, they sit on the same chairlift. And that's the world that I want to see, the world that I want to live in. And that's my experience with a ski town. And that was my experience with Whitefish, not racist locals. And I don't know, maybe it's because, I don't know what it's because. I think it has to do with just your sheer outlook. So protect your Stoke, do what you can to make your days better. I'm Blair, this is the Dirtbag Association, where our wax is old, our knees are older, but the Stoke doesn't melt. See you on the mountain.